Hey, Boca, are you keeping the plywood safe, huh? You guarding it? Atta girl. Well, as you can see, my pile that I had yesterday is quite diminished because we got it formed up into what's looking somewhat like a boat. I used 1x4 yellow pine, stained, scrap off of door trimming, straight lined it from joint to joint and laid a straight edge across. Got my pencil mark right there. I'm going to fair that out. I'll repeat on the other end since it's a double ender, and you can see I have all my center lines marked all the way down through here. This piece of 8-foot is going to be my bottom planking. So what I'll do is find center on it, strike a line, and I'll invert it, obviously, put it on there, then hop under and center it up with my center line marks and tack it down, and then I'll scribe around the edges and I'll get my length. I'll take it back off, cut it, leaving it overhang just about an eighth or so, and then I'll come back and fair it all down, round it off later. You kind of get into this rhythm of building and everything seems to be going great and you're all happy and stuff, and then you get to something like putting the bottom on. Well, two things. One, I got lucky, sorta. I didn't realize that it was going to be flared, so when I cut this, I just cut it a tad bit wider on each side, you know, and so I'm just going to barely make it. I'll actually, good thing I'm going to glass it, because I'm going to have to use some fillet and fillet that in, which will be alright. The other thing is that you can see I faired this down with my ultimate fairing device, basically called an 8-inch grinding wheel with 36 grit sandpaper. But if you look at the line here and look at it back in there, it's back behind it, out away from it, back behind it, and I'm running the same way back here. I should be at this point to there. So what I'm getting out of this, because you know it's all arched and arced and all that, and I could drive a nail there and pull a square off of this, but what I'm getting off of it is it's out a square by a good 3/16. So what I'll end up doing is I'll pull this plywood off and I'll screw it straight here, which means it's going to be pointing out that way. And I'm going to go ahead and glue it. I'm just going to take a chance on this. I'm going to glue this, screw it down, put a block under it to keep it from getting all mucked up, and then work it that direction. I'll probably work it over and drop it in the glue and then screw it. And and hopefully that straightens it. But I'm really having to dig to get pieces for this. This is actually a piece of 1/4-inch Lawan, which is, I don't want to use it, but the whole thing was this has got to be a scrap boat all the way. You know, if it ends up being a good boat, I'll build me another one out of good stuff. But you can see center lines, maybe it's not too shaded. This one was all right. Off about 1/8 inch. It went over easy. The other side's kind of wanting to be a little bit more of a pain in the butt. So factory edge to factory edge, screwed it down, got my center line. It's 18 inches over, and if I pull, sorry about the bad camera work, I'm trying to pull my tape measure out, so you're just going to have to put up with it. If I pull, oof, 19 inches. I gotta move this over an inch. Which is going to be interesting to see if I can get it to go. Now, if I didn't pay attention to that, just laid it on and cut it out, it'd be all messed up. That's why it's important to do the center lines, give you a good reference. And it did tweak it some, but I took out a shim and leveled it out. The bottom's looking actually pretty darn good. So at this point, I'm going to scribe that other panel. I got this one scribed already. Pull it off, turn it over, cut it out, put it back on, glue it, put it back on. Center line to center line, so all my center lines line up. Not too bad, you know. I'm thinking that it's going to be a pretty cool little swamp boat. It's going to be a little heavy, but I think it's going to do what I want to do, which is I want to be able to just pull it back and have a good stable craft for standing up and pulling, looking for pigs and squirrels and stuff. Down to the nitty gritty on the first phase of it. Got the boat all done as far as planked up and all, obviously, as you can tell, and sanded it down, rounded everything off nice and pretty here, and sanded all the plywood down. You can see where I had my issues as far as almost made the bottom too narrow, but it's looking pretty good actually. Most of it is just regular old BC exterior. Of course, I didn't have enough in the shop. Put a piece of Luan up here, so I think what I'll do is quarter over the deck on top, so this will just be a haul piece and not stepped on from the inside. At this point, I got to go through, countersink all these holes. I'm going to put my screws back in. Probably not necessary, but I'm going to do it anyway because I've got them. And if this rain holds off, I'm going to epoxy it today. Flipped over. You can kind of see the lines on it. That's not attached and this isn't attached, so they might make it look crooked. Gonna cut out pieces, little rub rail stiffener. I gotta grind down some screw heads. I'll grind those off and paint it up with some 123 primer. Love that stuff, sticks to anything. And then I'm just going to clean out my paint storage area and start painting the crap out of it, because I'm not glassing or anything. So I'll probably try to put 4 or 5 coats at a minimum inside. Looking pretty decent. Can't wait to get this bugger done and splash her down. I can already see tree stands and bows and pig hunting in the works.